I'm not a sisterhood person. I'd like to start from the top then. I would like to know who said that I was impressionable. Sir, I never even used that word. Music fans are in awe of what they're witnessing and hearing at the moment. The set of Basketball Wives Law Season 12 is the source of frightening rumors that are sweeping social media. And this time, it goes beyond cast members disparaging one another or friendships ending. This time, it's more profound, intimate, and, to be honest, more agonizing than anything we've ever witnessed. Chantel and Jackie have been the subject of numerous reports. Insiders claim that the mother-daughter pair, whom everyone believed had finally found harmony, are currently engaged in their most intense confrontation to date. Production-related sources claim that while filming, Chantel and Jackie's tensions hit an all-time high. Fans are startled since, only a few episodes ago, it appeared like everything were peaceful between the two women. Now, they are supposedly having a fierce quarrel that was so strong that even the cameras couldn't film everything. There are now rumors that Chantel lost it, yelling at Jackie in front of everyone and even leaving the set when her temper flared. The cause of the blow-up, however, is what has viewers most split. Was this a case of unhealed past wounds? Or did Chantel lose it because of something that had just happened? We're going to dissect everything that has been stated, so stay tuned. Everyone is talking about this family conflict, including every rumor and leaked detail. Overnight, the entire atmosphere around Basketball Wives LA Season 12 changed, taking viewers by surprise at what is reportedly the most dramatic period in the show's history. Word is getting out quickly that something happened between Chantel and Jackie that no one saw coming, not only from official footage but also from those close to the production. Everyone believed that their relationship had settled down by this point. Although they have enjoyed their share of success in previous seasons, the current output feels different. Insiders claim that this was not your average mother-daughter argument captured on tape for dramatic effect. This explosion was truly raw, one that stunned even the crew. Apparently, it all began with a disturbance over a group supper. An ordinary cast meeting where everyone sits down and acts courteous until the tension eventually erupts. Jackie arrived with her hair slicked back, wearing one of her classic blazers, and a laid-back demeanor. Chantel showed there alone, much quieter than normal, and didn't really look anyone in the eye. In a few teaser videos, those who have been paying close attention have already seen that energy. The way Chantel sat across from Jackie, staring at her plate and not saying anything. However, more thorough accounts are now emerging, indicating that the hush was short-lived. It began with a brief remark. Jackie muttered something that didn't seem significant to the others. Witnesses claim that Chantel simply froze when Jackie discussed how she had lately handled some family matter. Her entire stance changed, the fork partially in her mouth before she carefully set it down and turned to face Jackie. Look, that signaled everyone in the room right away that something important was going to happen. Jackie raised her eyebrows, giving Chantel that piercing gaze she's known for, and said, "What's that supposed to mean, Chantel?" "That's funny. You're talking about handling family business. Like, you really know what that means?" The table went quiet, forks and glasses suddenly still. No one interrupted, probably sensing it wasn't their place. Chantel said this without raising her voice at first. Her tone was calm, but it carried weight, like she was warning Chantel not to push further. But Chantel wasn't backing down this time. She leaned in slightly, voice still steady, but colder now. "You out here acting like everything's fine, like we're some picture-perfect family, but you really don't know what's going on with me, do you?" "You never did." That's when things really shifted. People around the table started glancing at each other, eyes wide. Some cast members reportedly tried to step in cameras, caught Malaysia gently touching Chantel's arm like she wanted to calm her down, but Chantel brushed her off. Jackie didn't flinch. She sat back, crossing her arms slowly, eyes narrowing. "You really want to do this here?" she asked, voice dropping lower now, like she was trying to keep things from blowing up in front of everyone. Chantal just nodded. Once, still looking, her mother straight in the eye. "'Kay," she said. "Maybe it's time I do." The dispute quickly got out of hand. According to reports, Chantel then became more abrasive and emotional in her speech, saying, "You have never supported me the way you act as though you have." It's always about your image, how you look in front of these cameras, she stated. But there's nothing when it's just the two of us. Except in cases where there is a plot, you don't even call. What they were hearing was unbelievable to everyone in the room. Chantel has always been more reserved than Jackie, as those who have followed their journey over the seasons are aware. Not the kind to stir up trouble in public. However, all of that annoyance seemed to be leaking out just now. Even the cameras continued to roll in startled silence, refusing to cut away, according to production sources. But Jackie didn't remain silent for long. At last, he stood up, raising his voice now, though not as loudly as Chantel. After everything I've done for you, are you really going to sit here and tell me that? Her hands were now moving and waving, a little as if she was still in shock over what was happening. Chantel was not done, however. What have you done for me? She fired back. Imply all of your efforts on behalf of the cameras or your brand? Jackie, you don't even know who I am. You are just aware of what you would like others to believe. Jackie apparently took the line quite personally. Witnesses reported that her expression shifted from one of rage to something else at that very moment. Perhaps she was shocked or hurt, but she didn't answer immediately. Security had begun to go closer in case things were physical because the environment was already tight. The intensity was so strong that everyone could sense it, even though there was no real fighting. Even the other actors, who are normally the first to jump into a dispute, remained. It felt just like that. Brooke reportedly muttered to someone close to her, "This ain't for us. This is family business." In this intensely private moment between mother and daughter, it seemed as though everyone else in the room had abruptly faded into the background. Chantel finally got to her feet while the yelling persisted, pushing her chair back hard enough to create a loud scraping noise on the floor. But she didn't leave all at once. Rather, her voice cracked slightly as she pointed to Jackie. "You can keep pretending in front of them," she exclaimed, gesturing to the cameras and the audience. Then she turned and left, leaving the table utterly silent behind her. "But I'm done pretending. I'm done acting like we're good when we're not." Jackie reportedly didn't follow right away. For the first time all night, her eyes were downcast as she gently sat back down, and for a long time, no one spoke. The fact that this wasn't just another basketball wives' law incident is what has fans talking the most. It has nothing to do with social media feuds or small-minded insults. Was actual family history being revealed to the world? Although Chantel and Jackie's relationship has always had its ups and downs, nothing this intense has ever been captured on video before, as anyone who has watched them over the years knows. According to accounts, production took a break once the sequence was finished. For a little while, the cameras paused, allowing everyone to catch their breath, but the harm was already done. According to insiders, Chantel didn't film with the gang for a few days following this supper. Some people are even speculating as to whether she intends to leave the show entirely. Since the incident, Jackie has apparently been more reserved than normal. First of all, a loud, outspoken person. People are questioning whether this moment actually affected her more than she anticipated. Almost immediately, social media took notice of everything. Fans took to Instagram and Twitter as soon as the first rumors began to circulate, displaying snippets from previous episodes and contrasting them with this mother-daughter encounter. Some others said that Chantel had finally spoken up for herself, and they were entirely on her side. Others felt sorry for Jackie and questioned whether Chantel had gone too far. But one thing was universally acknowledged. The family was split, and the feelings were genuine. The tension didn't simply go away once Chantel left that evening, hung over the whole cast like a cloud that no one could get rid of. In the days that followed, the set felt different, according to production-related sources. People were more tense, quieter, and less playful even when the cameras weren't rolling. As if anticipating the next explosion, everyone was constantly watching over their shoulder. The true change, however, wasn't limited to the set. No one anticipated how hard it would hit social media. As soon as news of Chantel and Jackie's violent battle spread, blogs, fan sites, and reality TV insiders began sharing their opinions. Some posted snippets of previous episodes in which Chantel alluded to feeling excluded or ignored by Jackie, stating things like, "This isn't new, we just didn't see it fully until now." Others were bringing up previous interviews with Jackie, in which she discussed her constant attempts to be a good mother and highlighted the complex relationship though, where she talked about always trying to be a good mother, pointing out how complicated things had always been between her and Chantel. What really stirred things up, though, was when a behind-the-scenes clip leaked a moment that hadn't been included in the teaser trailers. In this unseen footage, Jackie is seen sitting alone after Chantel storms out, still at the dinner table, wiping at her face with a napkin. Her voice is low, barely above a whisper as she says to someone off camera, "I tried my best. I really did." That small clip went viral instantly. Fans weren't expecting to see that side of Jackie, usually so tough, so loud, sitting there quietly, looking genuinely hurt. Suddenly, the conversation online wasn't as one-sided anymore. While many people still supported Chantel for standing up for herself, others started wondering if maybe Jackie had been misunderstood too. Even other cast members weighed in subtly. Evelyn posted a story on her page, just a black background with the words "family stuff hit different." Wasn't tagged to anyone, but fans knew exactly what she meant. Spice shared a post, too, writing, "You can't judge what you don't understand," alongside a photo of herself looking serious. But despite all the noise online, neither Chantel nor Jackie posted anything themselves. Both women stayed completely silent on social media. No stories, no tweets, nothing. And that silence made things feel even more intense. Fans started speculating hard. Some wondered if Chantel had really quit the show. There were even rumors floating around that she'd packed up and left town for a few days to clear her head. Others said Jackie wasn't filming with the rest of the cast either, choosing to lay low until things cooled off. According to insiders, the production team was scrambling behind the scenes trying to figure out how to handle the fallout. Sources claimed producers were trying to set up a private sit-down between Chantel and Jackie off-camera, hoping they could work things out before filming resumed. But others said both women refused, each standing firm in their decision to stay, apart for now. While all this was going on, another layer to the story started emerging. A blog posted screenshots from an old group chat that allegedly included Chantel, Jackie, and some close family friends. In those messages, Chantel could be seen expressing frustration, writing things like, "I can't keep pretending everything's good just for the cameras, and every time I open up, it gets used against me." Again, there was no way to fully confirm if the messages were real, but that didn't stop fans from running with it. Now, people weren't just talking about one dinner blow-up. They were piecing together a whole pattern, pointing to years of tension between mother and daughter that had finally boiled over in public. What made things even more layered was when someone from the crew anonymously spoke out on a podcast. During the episode, they shared what it felt like being in the room that night. They said, "Honestly, we filmed a lot of drama on this show. But that night felt different. You could tell this wasn't just for TV. Chantel wasn't trying to be the loudest or start a scene truly meant what she was saying. I mean, Jackie, for once, Jackie didn't have a comeback ready. She just looked hurt." That statement only made the internet buzz louder. People started analyzing Chantel's past appearances on the show even more closely. Some fans pointed out how in certain scenes, Chantel always seemed quieter, more reserved, like she was holding things in. Others noticed little moments where Jackie talked over her or shifted the attention back onto herself. It felt like every clip from every old season was getting replayed now, every line re-examined for hidden meaning. And while fans kept digging, the show's official page finally dropped a new teaser. The clip was short, just 30 seconds, but it packed a punch. It showed Jackie walking into a confessional room, sitting down slowly, taking a deep breath before saying, "You think you know everything about me and Chantel? You don't." Then it cut to Chantel's voice off camera saying simply, "This isn't about TV. This is about real life." The teaser ended there, leaving fans even more hooked than before. Comments under the post filled up instantly. People were writing things like, "We need the full story now, and Chantel deserves her moment." Others defended Jackie, saying, "She's not perfect, but she's always been real." Meanwhile, bloggers and content creators were dropping videos and podcasts breaking down every angle of the situation. It wasn't just reality TV fans talking either. Even some celebrity gossip pages outside the usual basketball wives circles picked up the story, sharing it alongside headlines like "Mother-daughter war explodes on set" and "Chanel calls out Jackie in shocking scene." Back on set, things reportedly remained tense. Some cast members tried reaching out to both Chantel and Jackie privately, hoping to play peacemaker, but according to insiders, both women weren't ready to have that conversation yet. And that's when things took another unexpected turn. Production scheduled a group therapy session for the cast, something that had been done in past seasons when tensions got too high. But this time, there was one big difference. Both Chantel and Jackie were invited, but neither confirmed they'd show up. When the day of the session arrived, cameras were ready. Cast members were in place. Everyone waiting to see if the two women would walk through the door. The scene reportedly started with just the other ladies talking things through, sharing their own thoughts on family drama and unresolved tension. Malaysia spoke up first, saying, "When it's your mom, your daughter, it hit different. The rest of us can't really get it unless we've been through it." Brooke chimed in next, adding, "Sometimes you got to step back to figure it out, but everything can be fixed right away." The whole room seemed to agree, but underneath it all, everyone was really just waiting to see if Chantel or Jackie would appear. And then, just as things were winding down, there was a knock on the door. That moment, quiet, suspenseful, is what left everyone holding their breath. Because in that knock, there was the possibility that either Chantel or Jackie had decided to show up to face everything had dawned, but whether or not it was really them and what happened next would be revealed in the episodes still to come. And until then, fans were left stuck in that same silence, waiting to see how the story would unfold. As the knock echoed through the room, everyone inside fell completely silent. Even the usual background chatter from producers and crew members stopped, like nobody wanted to breathe too loud and break the tension. For a few seconds, it felt like the whole set was holding its breath. Brooke was the first to move, glancing toward the door with her brows slightly raised. Malaysia followed her gaze, eyes narrowing, clearly just as curious and just as cautious. The therapist, leading the session, who had been quietly observing up until now, stood up slowly and walked toward the door. The camera followed, not rushing, just moving steadily, as everyone waited to see who would walk in. When the door finally opened, there stood Jackie. She wasn't dressed up like usual. No blazer, no bold jewelry. Instead, she wore a simple hoodie and jeans, hair pulled back, in a bun. Her face didn't show much, but there was something in her eyes that let everyone know she wasn't there to play. Jackie stepped in quietly, offering a short nod to the room, before taking a seat at the far end of the couch, putting distance between herself and everyone else. For a long minute, nobody said anything. Brooke glanced toward Malaysia like she was waiting for someone else to start. Finally, the therapist broke the silence. "Jackie," she said gently, "thank you for joining us today. We've been discussing family dynamics, and we'd love to hear your perspective." Jackie took a slow breath, her voice quieter than anyone in the room was used to. "I didn't come here to put on a show," she said. I needed a minute. After everything with Chantel, I wasn't sure if showing up was the right move." The room stayed quiet, respecting her space. Jackie continued, voice steady, but clearly holding back emotion. "I know how people see me. Loud, dramatic, always in control. But when it comes to my daughter, it's different. Always has been." Just as Jackie was getting into her feelings, the door knocked again. This time, it wasn't as slow and hesitant. It was sharper. 2 quick knocks. Everyone turned their heads instantly, eyes wide. Without waiting, the therapist opened the door again. Standing there was Chantel. Her face was calm, but her jaw was tight, like she'd had to hype herself up just to walk in. She wasn't looking for the cameras. She wasn't checking for anyone's reactions. Her eyes went straight to Jackie. For a few seconds, neither of them said anything. Chantel stepped into the room slowly, keeping her hands tucked into her hoodie. "Pockets, is it cool if I sit?" she asked, her voice low, almost flat. The therapist nodded quickly, motioning to an empty chair near the middle. Chantel sat down without another word. Now, with both women in the same room, the energy shifted completely. The therapist gave them both a minute, letting the silence hang. Then she spoke up again. "Chantel." Jackie was just sharing her thoughts. "Whenever you're ready, we'd love to hear yours too." Chantel looked up slowly, eyes flickering between the therapist and Jackie. "Honestly," she said, her voice steady but slightly sharp, "I don't even know what to say. I came here because I figured if I didn't, things would just stay messy. But I'm not here to fake like every." Jackie didn't interrupt. She just sat there staring straight ahead. CHNTEL went on. "For years, I've been holding my tongue, letting stuff slide because I thought that's what family does. But it gets heavy, carrying all that." The room was silent except for Chantel's voice. Everyone else listened closely, not wanting to miss a single word. "When we had that dinner," Chantel continued, "I wasn't planning to go off, I really wasn't. But hearing you talk about family like you're some expert, like you've always been there." Her voice cracked slightly. That hit me different. I couldn't let it slide this time. Jackie finally spoke up, voice quieter. "Now I get it," she said. "I really do. But Chantel, you gotta understand it ain't easy for me either. I know I made mistakes, probably more than I even realize." Chantel let out a soft laugh, one without much humor in it. "Yeah, mistakes." Jackie leaned forward a little, elbows on her knees. "Look, I know saying sorry ain't enough, not after everything. But I need you to know whether the cameras are rolling or not. I care about you, always have." For the first time since walking in, Chantel's face softened slightly. Her eyes dropped to the floor. "Sometimes it don't feel like it," she admitted quietly. "I know," Jackie replied, voice cracking just a little now too. "But it's real." The therapist stepped in gently again. "What would it take for both of you to start moving forward?" Neither woman answered right away. Finally, Chantel spoke, voice steady, but softer than before. "Honesty. No more pretending for the cameras. No more keeping stuff bottled up just because it looks better." "That way," Jackie nodded slowly. "I can do that. If that's what it takes, I'm in." The room stayed quiet for another minute. No loud crying, no hugging, just quiet understanding, the kind that hits even harder than yelling sometimes. After a while, the therapist wrapped up the session saying, "Thank you both for showing up today. Not easy, but showing up is the first step." As everyone stood up to leave, Chantel and Jackie didn't walk out together. They left separately, each with their own space, but both looking a little lighter than when they walked in. Outside the session, the rest of the cast stood nearby. Malaysia pulled Chantal to the side, giving her a quick hug. Brooke nodded toward Jackie, offering a small smile. Word of both women showing up spread fast. Within hours, fan pages were posting clips from the therapy session teaser. Comments filled up with reactions like, "This is the realest thing I've seen on Basketball Wives in years." And Chantel and Jackie both needed that moment. But even with that emotional breakthrough, not everything was perfectly tied up. Fans knew better than to expect a complete fix overnight. As much progress as Chantel and Jackie seemed to make in that room, there were still layers left to unpack. Old wounds don't heal in one session, and family drama like this doesn't disappear just because the cameras turn off. Still, for the first time in a long time, things felt hopeful, not just for Chantel and Jackie, but for everyone watching. Proof that even in the middle of all the reality TV chaos, some moments can still hit close to home. Whether or not they'd keep filming together after that day was still up in the air. Neither woman had confirmed if they'd return for the rest of the season or if this moment would mark the end of their on-camera journey. But no matter what came next, one thing was certain. That knock on the door, that quiet sit-down, and those honest words exchanged would go down as one of the most memorable moments in Basketball Wives history. Even after Chantel and Jackie had that quiet sit-down, the conversation didn't end when the cameras stopped rolling, the vibe on. Set shifted again. This time feeling heavier but also calmer, like people were walking on eggshells, but with less tension in the air. There wasn't any wild arguing happening now, just silence and a lot of thinking. Some cast members stuck around after filming wrapped that day, sitting in their trailers longer than usual, talking amongst themselves in low voices. No one wanted to be the first to post about it publicly, not right away. It felt like the kind of moments you had to let settle before you turned it into content. But of course, social media doesn't wait. Once production officially dropped the teaser of Chantel and Jackie both showing up to the therapy session, the clips spread fast. Fan pages started posting side-by-side edits. One moment showing Chantel walking out of the dinner, the next showing her sitting across from Jackie in therapy. The contrast hit people hard. Comments filled up with fans saying things like, "That's real growth right there." And Chantel handled that with so much maturity. Some viewers who hadn't been following the show for a while even said this was what brought them back. One post read, "I stopped watching Basketball Wives a couple seasons ago, but seeing Chantel and Jackie finally face it head-on tuned in again." It wasn't just about drama anymore. People were connecting to the realness of it all. Mother and daughter, figuring things out in front of the world. No filters. What caught a lot of attention next wasn't even from Chantel or Jackie themselves. It was from Jackie's husband, Doug, known for usually keeping out of the show's spotlight. Doug posted a single photo on his story, a black and white picture of Jackie and Chantel from years ago when Chantel was still a teenager. No caption, just that image. And that one post said a lot without saying anything at all. It showed fans that whatever was happening on camera, there was still a family bond behind it. No matter how rocky things looked, as more fans kept weighing in, bloggers started dropping think pieces about the whole situation. Some headlines read things like, "When reality TV hits real life," "The Chantal and Jackie moment breaking the internet," and "Basketball Wives Season 12 proves family drama still runs deeper than fame." Podcasts recorded entire episodes breaking down every little detail, from the knock at the therapy session door to the way Chantal kept her hands in her pockets the entire time. She was in the room while all this was happening. Other cast members slowly started posting again. Malaysia shared a picture of herself with a caption that said, "Protect your peace always." Brooke posted a video of herself working out. Music turned up loud, clearly choosing not to say much directly. Evelyn went live, but didn't address the Chantel and Jackie moment. She just talked about her skincare routine, probably on purpose to avoid adding fuel to the conversation. But even with everyone else moving on publicly, fans weren't letting it go just yet. They kept digging, looking for any hint about what Chantel and Jackie's next move would be. Were they really done filming together? Would Chantal stay on the show after this season? Would Jackie take a step back now that things had gotten so personal? Then, almost like clockwork, another surprise dropped. The show's official page announced a special one-on-one episode, Jackie and Chantel. No other cast members, just them sitting down with the host to talk everything through. It wasn't a reunion episode exactly, more like an exclusive post-therapy interview. The announcement sent fans into a frenzy. People filled the comments section asking when it would air, begging for early previews. Some even joked about taking the day off work to watch it live, saying things like, "I'm not missing this for anything." Leading up to that episode, neither Chantel nor Jackie posted anything at all. Full radio silence. Some people said it was smart, keeping things quiet to build anticipation. Others said maybe it meant things between them were still delicate, that they were choosing to keep things private for once. When the day finally arrived, fans tuned in heavy. The numbers were some of the biggest the show had seen all season. The episode opened simple, just two chairs, Chantel on one side, Jackie on the other, with the host sitting in between. Both women looked calm but serious. Chantel wore a simple black hoodie again, Jackie in her signature blazer this time, but toned down compared to her usual flashy looks. The host started by asking how the